It's definitely helped me have some peace of mind going through school, just because it's kind of hard to find scholarships nowadays. Even as a first gen student, it's very, very hard to find them and get them. So it definitely helps give me peace of mind going into a career where I know that it's not necessarily like easy to pay off your student loans closer to when you get in. So it just kind of gives me peace of mind of getting to be able to pay those off sooner rather than later. That's a really good question. So, I took my first accounting class in high school, and I really love things being organized and having structure. And so, going through that class, I loved how everything had like a bucket it fell into, and how the whole process was about kind of like organizing the numbers in a way that was more understandable and that flowed. Um, and again, really liked the structure of it all. And so I pursued that. I eventually got an internship in high school. I got chosen by a small CPA firm in Rock Hill. Um, and so I kind of got to see firsthand what an accounting profession was like at a tax firm. I got to do some bookkeeping, some administrative stuff, and I got to see some different types of tax returns as well. And so I still just continued to love everything until I got to the tax side. And so then I went on to an audit internship, and I really, really liked that. I got to work on bank audits. So everything I've learned makes me like the profession more, continue to love the structure, the organization. I like that everything feels like a close-knit family and it's very easy to connect with people in the profession. So that's why I've decided to keep pursuing it. So, like most students, I really love and am fascinated by the area of forensic accounting. Um, in our master's program at Clemson, we actually got to take a forensics class, so we got to study and analyze a bunch of different fraud cases, which I found so interesting. It was really, really cool to like dig through a bunch of information, look at what stood out or what seemed out of place, and it just felt like a big puzzle to put together. So I really enjoyed that aspect. And then on more of the audit side, I personally loved auditing banks the most because it was kind of like going through and just double checking what they did, making sure they followed rules and regulations, and I got to prevent the clients from getting any kind of fines or penalties from like the SEC or something like that. So I liked that helping protect the clients aspect, or help them avoid some fines for anything they might not be doing correctly. I guess it kind of goes along with the bank thing. I really like finding things out of place and helping people follow the rules, if that makes sense. So I do really like the compliance side of an audit, making sure they're following rules and regulations, kind of protecting people from themselves. And then I think ultimately I would really love to get into a place where I could work in like a financial crimes division as a forensic accountant, so I could help people find money that was taken, and just kind of right some wrongs that people did when they manipulated any kind of accounting pathway. So I think that's the way I could give back. And I also know the firm I'm committed to work at after graduation, they harp on community service. So I'm thankful that with this profession, I'll have some flexibility to be able to volunteer at organizations that are special to me. I think the best piece of advice, I can do it in different ranges, but for high schoolers, I would say do research, just kind of see what the profession's about, read articles about accountants, things like that. If they know of like friends who are already in college studying it, maybe talking to them, but just keeping an open mind, because everyone has a very negative portrayal of accountants, but once you're actually in it, you kind of get a different perspective on it, where it's not all down and negative and they're number pushers who are no fun and all of that. That's definitely a very untrue stereotype. And then at the college age, I was very fortunate that I got to see accounting in high school and then had an internship before coming to college, so I knew what I wanted to do coming in. So for a college age student, I would say, again, kind of like high school, give it a try. Take a class to kind of see if you like it and talk to people in profession, get their perspective, because I think that's something that helped me like actually come to terms and decide with what I wanted to do. Maybe not come to terms so much, but like specifically choose and commit to something, was getting to talk to people in the profession at different places in their career and talking about things they've gotten to see, things they've gotten to do, and just finding out what I liked about the profession. So definitely trying to make connections, such as like I love doing puzzles or word searches, things like that. And so I was able to connect that with the more forensic accounting and audit side of the profession. So just taking a step back, not looking at it as this big, boring profession who's a bunch of rule followers, even though we do have rules to follow, and just kind of look at it as more of a big picture, if that makes sense. That's really hard because since I have gotten to have many internships, I've had a lot of great accounting mentors. Um, I think I'm going to choose, is actually a member of the South Carolina Association of CPAs, and he was my first boss, gave me my first accounting internship, but Bernie Ackerman. He owns his own tax firm in Rock Hill, and he went from auditing to tax, started his own firm. So just getting to work with him and seeing how it wasn't just about like a job necessarily or doing accounting. It was more about helping your clients, helping the community, and just, I don't want to say like making a name for yourself kind of, but he's built up an amazing repertoire. Like people who know him, they respect him, they trust him because he is so intelligent and he has immersed himself in the profession and within his community. And that's something I definitely look up to and have had the fortune of, and have been fortunate enough to get to work with him and see firsthand how much he cares about his clients in the profession and his employees, those two.